I want to give you guys some encouragement if you need it. And there's been several subscribers that have talked to me that there's some frustration with the industry right now. There's some frustration with sales. Things are kind of slow. And of course, a lot of guys are asking me because we're doing the software, like, where are you at? And I'm okay, but I'm not even as booked out as far as I'd like to be. But I wanted to tell you guys something that Greg still has to remind me of. And that is clear back in 2009, 10, 11, 12, when I was like door knocking heavy. He and I were keeping stats. Right? I get it would be stats, right, Greg?
Yeah. On everything we could, basically.
On everything we could. And I learned a really valuable lesson, you guys, that I want to instill in you guys. And I think it's still true to this day. So I'm just giving you guys a little bit of encouragement. This is just how it worked with me. But it's interesting. I think you and I were talking about this, Joshua, just this last week on the phone. So, oh no, it was somebody else. But anyway, you guys, I've learned there's little cues that I've learned when somebody calls me or when I meet somebody at a home show. There's certain words. And one of the words, when somebody walks up to me at a home show and I always start off with a question. I always say, like, what projects are you guys looking at doing this year? It never fails. If somebody says, well, we always got projects going on, that's a dead lead. Don't ask me why. I don't understand it. But never, ever, ever in a home show, when somebody says we've always got projects going on, have I ever set an appointment or sold a job to? There's just certain things that I've learned, right? Another one that I've always learned is when somebody calls me up and they're like, hey, we want to get, it's March 1st, right? And they're like, we're in a hurry. We want to get this job done as soon as possible. Never sold it. Never sold it. And what I've learned is a lot of the clients that call in early March, all through March, in the early part of April, are either tire kickers or they're looking for the cheapest bid. Now, if you've set your company up to be one of the cheaper out there, you're probably going to fill up your pipeline. But what Greg used to tell me is when we kept track of these stats, he would always tell me that May was my big sales month. May. And the reason that we came up with, and I'm not telling you guys, this is, this isn't factual. This isn't like, this is just what we came up with over years and years and years of studying this, because I was like a raging lunatic. I would freak out and Greg would be like, dude, calm down. May's coming, right? May's coming up. And then always in May, we would kill it with sales. And so kind of what I started thinking was, I felt like we needed to let all of the, back then I would say idiots, but all of the cheap guys to get their pipelines filled. And then once they got their pipelines filled, it was either that or the serious people. Okay, so there was two things that I think were going on. I'm starting to remember. One is I felt like some of the cheaper guys need to get their pipelines filled. They were desperate. And I decided I wasn't going to get desperate enough to drop my prices, because think about it, guys. If you drop your prices to get your pipeline filled, what you know now about production, it just screws you, right? I mean, if you try to get booked out for 3 months and you lowered your PMM by $200-300 a day, doesn't seem like a lot, but when you have 2-3 crews, that adds up and it's a massive amount of money. So you got to find that balance. The second thing that I have learned over the years is the serious people typically don't start calling until the weather is nice enough for them to do the work themselves. And right now, we don't have that. So I just wanted to give that to you guys as a little bit of encouragement. It helped me out a ton. So hopefully this year doesn't make me into a liar, but I'm always very patient, and it's always paid off.